Welcome to the After the Show show.
Sorry about that.
Brian is leaving. Janice Dean is in.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
I mean, did you miss me, first of all?
We
Yes,
missed you.
did. I miss you guys. So, remember when we had, well, we didn't have Christy Brinkley on the show, but remember we were showing her picture in Sports Illustrated?
Absolutely.
Right, and we talked about
Who
that.
could forget that?
Right, on the After the Show show. She's, you know, in her early 60s, and she looks spectacular!
And I remember your comment. You said, I'm going to have whatever she's having.
That's right. And there was some truth to that. Because, you know, I think, you know, listen, we have all got things that we don't like about ourselves. I think everyone can say that. And for, you know, not just now, but when I was little, I just had this weird, I always thought I had a weird neck. I had these, like, rings around my neck that I was always focused in on when I would look at a picture of myself. So I had that. And then as I get more seasoned, I'm learning some good terms now. I was starting to notice, like, this, like, you know, sort of accordion skin gathering in the middle of my neck. And so I was like...
Rather than a turtleneck, you decided to actually get...
Or surgery.
You know, no, I'm talking about like a scarf.
Right.
That's what a lot of people do. Or a turtleneck.
I wear a lot of turtlenecks and scarves on Fox and Friends.
Yeah.
But, you know, listen... For the last couple of years, I have done some of those lasers and Botox. I haven't done fillers. But I would ask my doctor when I would go visit him, like, what can you do about my neck? And he would be like, you know, there are new things coming out right now. There are these laser procedures that you can get that restore your collagen or make your body produce collagen naturally. Because I didn't want to get a facelift or a neck lift, you know, the knives.
No.
And my husband would not let me do that either. So I went home and I would tell him about these new things that are coming out. And so one day I was like, I want to try this. I want to try this laser procedure.
On your neck.
On my
neck.
Called? It's called Fractora.
Okay.
And there's another procedure that he did to tighten skin. And what it does, I think, I'm not a doctor. I don't practice this. It makes your body make collagen on its own.
Okay.
Okay, with a laser. I don't know
So
that
he lasers your neck, and then
Right.
something happened to your nerves on this side, right?
So here's the thing. The last thing I thought of was something that's done on my neck would affect my face, but that's exactly what happened. The laser was too hot on one side, and it temporarily paralyzed my facial nerve. So I wasn't
So your face was frozen.
Well, this part of my lip was sort of like this. Like
you couldn't talk. It affected your speech.
It affected
the way you looked.
It affected the way I looked. If you've seen or heard of someone have Bell's palsy,
My mom did.
Something very similar
Terrible.
to that. So, you know, it was a lot. There was a lot of reflecting done in the last 2 months. People were like, "Oh, you must have loved being off with your kids," and I did. But it was, you know, I was embarrassed because I hadn't told a lot of people. It was frustrating. I felt shame. Why did I do this to myself? Why can't we all be accepting of what God has given us? That kind of type of thing. So I went through a lot of that, and I was told that it was going to come back 100%. So thankfully, that
It just takes time.
It just takes time. But you know, I decided during this time off to sort of maybe we should talk about stuff like this a little bit more, because we live in a society where we see Christy Brinkley on the pages of Sports Illustrated and say, oh, how can I want some of that? But sometimes, you know, you can't have some of that, and there are risks involved with all of these kinds of procedures. The risk that I had was on the list that I signed off. So
that was one of the things that said this could be a side effect
that's
of it.
right.
But didn't it say like you're you're in the 2% or the 1%?
I wish I could win the lottery.
Right.
If I'm 1 to 2%.
But you think surgery, you think, oh, if they're cutting, then there's risk. Lasers, no.
Right.
Botox, it's just temporary. But no, there are risks involved.
I have had so many people come up to me, and I remember Kelly Ripa a few months ago on her show saying, I'm going to let you in on a dirty little secret. I had bad Botox, and I couldn't smile for months. And I remember thinking to myself, good for her to say that, because I think we live in, it's like shrouded in secrecy, and because, you know, we're kind of embarrassed. We want to look young. We want to do, you know, minimal procedures to try and turn back father time. But you know what? What I've learned through all of this is my thing that shines is my smile. And when my kids see me when I come in the door, I want to make sure this is 100%, and I don't care about this anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good lesson maybe for you to learn.
Yeah.
Hard way to learn it, but.
And thanks to you guys, my second family, and to the viewers who've been so supportive. I mean, really, truly supportive. It's been a hard time, but I've learned a lot about myself, and I'm just glad to be back.
And you know what? you got to spend 2 months with your boys, and you'll never get that back. So that was probably, that was the silver lining.
Well, and you know what? Writing this op-ed, I wrote an op-ed about it, was really cathartic because I could sit down and write everything that I felt. And, you know, my mom, you know, when I told my mom, because I was really embarrassed to tell her, because, you know, she's my mom, and she's like, you should be thankful for, you know, the gifts that God has given you. She said to me, she's like, don't be ashamed. I would have done it too.
Aww.
You know?
Would you do it again?
I mean, I don't think so. But listen, that doesn't mean that I won't do things to try to improve myself, you know? But I think the bottom line is we have to be more aware of what we're signing up for, you know?
And
whatever it is.
Things can go wrong.
That's right.
All right, well, we're glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm back.
Now you got to get up at 3 in the morning.
That's okay. I was excited to be at the door today. I really was.
All right. Katie,
Welcome
great
home.
to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We'll all be back tomorrow. See you then.